Former President Donald Trump visited Capitol Hill today to urge Republican lawmakers to rally behind his proposed tax reform package, dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill. The bill proposes sweeping changes to the tax code, including deep tax cuts for individuals and corporations, as well as significant reductions in Medicaid funding. Trump emphasized party unity ahead of a critical vote expected later this week. Despite Trump's calls for cohesion, the proposal has sparked division within the Republican Party. Some moderate lawmakers have expressed concern about the potential impact on low-income Americans, while others fear the bill may increase the national deficit. Nonetheless, Trump remains optimistic that the bill will pass, framing it as a defining moment for the GOP's economic agenda. Federal budget cuts and delays in funding distribution under the Trump administration have negatively affected Head Start preschool programs across the country. These programs, which provide early childhood education and health services to low-income families, are experiencing reduced hours, staffing shortages, and even closures in some regions. Advocates argue that the cuts are disproportionately harming vulnerable communities and will have long-term impacts on children's development. Local administrators are calling for emergency funding and clearer federal support to ensure these vital services can continue. Without intervention, educators warn that entire generations may suffer setbacks in learning and well-being. In a historic move for the American energy sector, a U.S. utility company has officially applied for a federal permit to construct a small modular nuclear reactor, SMR. This marks the first time such a request has been made, signaling growing interest in SMRs as a potentially safer and more scalable alternative to traditional nuclear plants. Supporters of the technology highlight the environmental benefits, as SMRs produce minimal carbon emissions and offer greater flexibility in deployment. However, critics caution that long-term safety, waste management, and high upfront costs remain serious challenges. The federal review process could take years, but this application is seen as a significant step toward a nuclear energy revival. Kentucky remains on high alert today as meteorologists warn of continued severe weather, including the possibility of more tornadoes. The state is still reeling from a deadly outbreak last week that destroyed homes and claimed several lives. Emergency crews are working around the clock to assess damage and provide aid to affected residents. Governor Andy Beshear urged citizens to remain vigilant and prepare for potential evacuations. Relief organizations have mobilized throughout the state, distributing food, water, and emergency supplies. Meteorologists emphasize that conditions remain unstable and recommend staying indoors and closely monitoring weather alerts. Johns Creek, a suburb of Atlanta, has been ranked the top place to live in the United States for 2025 to 2026, according to U.S. News and World Report. The city scored high marks for its quality of life, safety, job market, and public school system. Residents enjoy a blend of suburban charm and urban accessibility, making it ideal for families and professionals alike. City officials celebrated the recognition, citing ongoing investments in infrastructure, green spaces, and education. The ranking is expected to attract more businesses and residents to the area. However, some locals expressed concerns about potential overdevelopment and rising housing costs as interest in the city grows. A new study has found that heart failure patients who skip their annual medical checkups significantly raise their risk of death. Researchers tracked thousands of patients over several years and found that consistent yearly visits were linked to better health outcomes and lower hospitalization rates. Doctors warn that missing even one appointment can delay the detection of worsening symptoms or the need for medication adjustments. With heart disease remaining the leading cause of death in the U.S., experts urge patients, especially seniors and those with chronic conditions, to prioritize regular care, even when they feel well. A heated public exchange has erupted between rock legend Bruce Springsteen and former President Donald Trump. The feud began after Springsteen criticized Trump's political legacy during a concert, calling him a dried-out prune of corruption. Trump fired back on social media, calling Springsteen washed up and overrated. The clash has reignited debates over celebrity involvement in politics and free speech. Supporters on both sides have taken to social media to voice their opinions, while others criticize the spectacle as a distraction from more pressing national issues. The incident underscores the enduring cultural divide between liberal and conservative America.